Spider-Man Brand New Day has officially revealed what the suit will look like for the film, but not only do we think there'll be 2 suits, I have a theory as to why Zendaya's Michelle Jones may have a part to play in him getting them. First of all, if you don't know me, I'm Nate, and yes, this is usually a Tokusatsu channel, but diehards know that this channel started with Spider-Man related content, and I'm not saying I'm doing a transition. I don't know when the next Spider-Man video will be after this, but I wanted to talk about this suit and talk about my theory. So this is what we first saw on August 1st, aka National Spider-Man Day, which was a tease for the new suit, which got all the fans excited because of the raised webbing. It was a very short teaser. We got the raised webbing and we got this little sign of blue, which made people very excited. And then the next day we got this clip, which I'm sure if you're watching this, you've definitely seen this clip, which has Tom Holland on the set of Spider-Man Brand New Day in the suit, revealing what it actually looks like, and it's gorgeous. Most people love it, some people don't get me wrong, but it is very reminiscent of not only a classic suit, it's very reminiscent of the PS4 suit, which here are some photos of my friend Morgan wearing it in our fan film. It's a beautiful suit, but on top of that, very reminiscent of a Tobey Maguire Andrew Garfield amalgamation, which is kind of what we were going for. I mean, it looks great. I love the spider. Some people think it's sitting a bit low. I kind of agree, but don't forget, this is a very wide angle lens close up. In films, don't really see stuff like that. It's usually a much further away shot zoomed in. So I'm sure this suit's going to look better in the film, even though it looks incredible now. And the reason they did the official suit release is because they're actually filming in Glasgow in public. And of course, pictures are coming from that, and it makes the suit look even better. We have this with the official look at the eyes. We see the web. Okay, I'm not going to jump too far into it. We've got the eyes, which are clearly going to be like the retractable lenses that we've seen before in the MCU Spider-Man. These look to be a little bit bigger, which is quite cool. Instantly, the web doesn't look as raised. You can definitely see the light shining off the black, which is nice. We didn't used to get that. I'd love to think they're not going to plaster it with CGI, and if they do, it's just for touch-ups, and then we'll still get it looking as good as this, even with all these creases. I'd love to see the creases. We've got these web shooters, which are very reminiscent of his OG web shooters. They're a bit more tailored up, but he did used to have 2 big bulky cartridges on each side. This screams Peter Parker made this suit. I don't know where he got the textured fabric from, personally, but it screams Peter Parker made this suit. Here's another great shot with the eyes look even better in my opinion, and it's just such a refreshing sight to see this look for Spider-Man in the MCU, because even the Homecoming suit wasn't awful, but that was the only time we really got the red and blue, and it just wasn't this. Different gravy, do you know what I mean? We got a more close-up look of the suit, which I think could potentially be more of a stunt suit. They are definitely going to be taping over this, I imagine. This is Tom Holland in the suit, but as you can see, the webs don't look as raised. They definitely got a bit of texture to them. And then the mask obviously isn't exactly conforming to the usual face shell shape, but I imagine it's just because Tom Holland has just thrown the mask on. Again, a closer look at the web shooters. They're a lot bulkier than we're used to, which is good. That's how Peter Parker should be doing them. There. Nice little photo of Tom Holland smiling, aka my friend Sam. The lenses are going on with magnets, as they typically do with Spider-Man suits. That is very common. And this is one of my favourite suits. You can tell the face shell is in there. The lenses look great. The light bouncing off the suit, it just looks fantastic. And he's not even the bombastic bagman, do you know what I mean? Now, this is where my theory begins. So this is the final swing suit from No Way Home. The suit that we see him make himself. And it does look a little bit different from the suit we're seeing for Brand New Day. And some people are thinking, maybe the film starts with this suit and then he gets the suit we're seeing in the set photos and in the reveal. I don't think so. That's not to say that's the case. Obviously, I could be so wrong, but I do think that the suit we've seen in action now is meant to be this suit. Just because in every Spider-Man film there's touch-ups. There are touch-ups between the suit at the end of Far From Home and the suit at the start of No Way Home. They're meant to be the same suit. It takes place at the exact same time. It picks up directly, yet there's changes in the suit. I think this suit is meant to be the suit we're seeing. I don't think this suit exists practically, but something that I noticed straight away, and then I realized a lot of other people were noticing, was that if you look at Tom Holland wearing this suit right here, we've got the line coming down the middle of the spider, and then it cuts across just the bottom of that inside leg. Whereas, if we look at this footage, we can see the leg of the inside spider goes a lot further down. Now, this could just be the angle, this could just be because we're up close, but that is a much thicker line there, and the suit looks to be a lot more raised, which leads me to believe that this is a different suit from the one that we saw in the official reveal, which makes sense. Here's why. Peter Parker is literally going to be making his suits out of fabric on a sewing machine, as we've seen from the end of No Way Home. The suits are gonna get beaten up. They're gonna get battered. There's no way that he's gonna gain some material unless they really screw us over with some like ridiculous like retcon that he's now still got some sort of Stark tech or whatever, he's probably going to be going through suits like it's nothing. He's probably going to be constantly working on suits, constantly trying to figure out how to make his suits stronger and tougher. And I think the idea for the raised webbing comes a bit later on as a form of like spine for the suit, like a skeleton, so that even if the suit gets ripped up, there's some sort of rigid structure in like the raised webbing, regardless of what he uses to make the raised webbing, that keeps the suit together, so he only has to sew up and replace certain bits rather than a hole being sliced open on his left side and then slicing open the entire way. It remains within like a square of like the webbing, if you get what I mean. I also think there's a good chance that he is going to have 2 suits on the go for the entire film, in the respect that the suits keep getting damaged. I think he's got 2 suits, one which is this one and one which is maybe the other one with the webbing's a bit more raised and it looks a bit different, that he alternates between, because he's not going to have time to like repair his suit, with the concept that the next like issue or the next reason that he might be needed could be like the same day. So I reckon his suit gets damaged, he puts on the new suit, and then in his downtime he's able to repair the old suit while he uses the current suit, and then when that gets destroyed, the other suit is fixed, so it's fine, and we just swap in and out. Maybe it's a bit of a stretch, maybe Reed Richards is in the room with us, you never know, but I think it makes sense that the suits that he's making, at least for the first time, because the only other time he's made his own suit has been when it was like the joggers and the hoodie version from Far From Homecoming, and then when he made it with the Stark technology. So this is his first time doing it. It's probably going to break a lot. I think he's got some sort of suit cycle going, or maybe there's even a shot where he opens up like a closet and there's a bunch of damaged suits and a bunch of fresh suits. Maybe he just has like a bunch of suits back to back that he's working with. How does MJ link into all of this? We know Zendaya is going to be in the film, and I keep seeing beef online saying, you're going to ruin the ending of No Way Home. She's not supposed to remember who he is. That's the reason why he walked into the coffee shop and didn't reveal his identity and went home, okay? That's not entirely how it works. So the way it works, to at least my understanding, and I say my understanding, it's how they explain it works in the film, okay? When Doctor Strange made everybody forget that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, and Peter says to MJ and Ned, I will come back and find you guys, they still remember everything that happened with Spider-Man. MJ knows she was in a relationship with Spider-Man. MJ knows that she once knew Spider-Man's identity. MJ knows that Doctor Strange wiped everyone's mind to make them forget who Spider-Man was. She still knows that. She just doesn't know Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So she is probably, especially based off of everything we've been given story-wise for her over the last 3 movies,
I think she is without a doubt going to be trying to track Spider-Man down. I think that even though she's moved on and gone to college, she still is very angry that this unknown person, that Spider-Man, didn't come back for her, and I think she's trying to track him down. I think she's keeping tabs on his whereabouts, and eventually I think she's able to follow him back to his apartment that we see at the end of No Way Home, because the chances are we are going to see Spider-Man like crawling up the walls and going into the window like a standard Spider-Man comic panel or even movie or TV show bit.
I think that when Peter Parker isn't in, she is going to break into the apartment and wait for him. He's then going to come through the window, but with either the Spidey sense or the Peter Tingle as they call it in the MCU, which I hope they call the Spidey sense in this film, or just by seeing her, he won't take his mask off and he'll know she's there, and therefore his identity won't be revealed. But he obviously knows who she is and she knows who he is, and there's going to be like a conversation, and it's going to be her trying to be like, you lied to me, and even if they don't reveal his identity, which I hope they don't, that'll still be how the little story plays out. But maybe the suit was left in like on the sewing machine, or there was like designs for the raised webbing, like to the sort of structural format, like I mentioned earlier, where like if one bit tears, the entire suit doesn't break away, and maybe he couldn't quite figure out how to do it, and in the downtime whilst MJ was in the apartment, she just finished it for him, because that's not super uncommon. You know, I'm not the biggest comic book reader, but I know there's been plenty of iterations where like MJ or Gwen Stacy or anybody or even Aunt May has sort of helped Peter with making the suits, because there's something that he can't quite grasp, and I think that could be a possibility. MJ's got a role to play in this film. She doesn't need a role after No Way Home, other than her own story of trying to rediscover who Spider-Man is. I hope that makes sense. I think MJ might have a role to play into the second suit that we see in Spider-Man Brand New Day with the raised webbing. Now, with that, we also know that Scorpion is gonna be in this film. I don't think Scorpion's gonna be the main big bad. I think that's how they're trying to play it, but I don't think that's what's gonna happen. I think if anything, Scorpion could happen right at the start of the film just to get us straight in with action, or we could be like just the first into second act villain. And I think he could be a big reason as to why the first suit gets destroyed, just completely obliterated, and that's how we go forward, and that's what ends up happening. Obviously, my theory is that Martin Lee is the big bad and Mr. Negative is the villain, because we know that the Punisher and the Hulk are going to be involved, or at least Bruce Banner's going to be involved, and they're all going to be fighting each other. There's theories that Martin Lee is going to sort of possess the Hulk with his negative powers to make him the sort of raging Hulk rather than Smart Hulk. Those aren't my theories. That'd be cool to see, but those aren't my theories. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think any of this holds up? If not, let me know where you think MJ's role is going to be, and let me know your thoughts on not only how you like the suit, but whether you think there are going to be two suits and whether you think that's going to develop further. Huge thank you and shout out to Sarah Jane, our Super Dino Mode Patreon.